worked?
I can remember first reading the script and thinking, I have to get a pool into a theatre space.
It became about what is the most functional way to have a pool, the most magical way to have a pool, the most exciting, the most unexpected way.
There are 136 large tiles that are surrounding the pool.
So the pool will hold 3,000 litres of water.
It takes 7 hours to fill the pool.
I'm Stuart Burgess and I'm the technical manager on the Mikvah Project.
My name's Lisa Hood and I'm the production manager for the Mikvah Project. So being the production manager on a show means taking all the design departments, so set, props, costume, lighting, sound, bring them all together to make it happen. One of the really wonderful things about the orange tree and how we can completely transform the whole space is how it makes the audience feel and how it brings them into a world.
There have been some sort of key shows where we've really made a big difference, and one of those would be Humble Boy, which we did 2 years ago, where we turned it into a summer garden. So we did have fake grass, but some of the flowers were actually real and actually blossomed and bloomed during the show. Another production would have been Pomona, where for probably one of the first times we went down into our pits and kind of opened that up and it sort of exposed a sunken stage, as it were, and that was quite exciting.
Faith was such an overarching story that I wanted the whole thing to take place in the mikveh, and so that we were able to really give that audience that full immersive feeling of being somewhere that they probably had never been in before. Thankfully the Orange Tree has a substage which we've absolutely made great use of, so there was a lot of heavy discussions with the technical team of how on earth we do that and the logistical nightmares that come along with it.
We bounced back and forward as to whether we should use the girders, and they're basically big metal supports that hold the floor up and stop it from falling into the pit. But what we decided, or as a team, and what the designer decided, was that the level of support that those girders are giving to the stage is worth having them in and using them as part of the action. The things we need to consider when installing a pool in a theatre, firstly, weight. We're lucky that our theatre pit floor goes directly onto the earth, so we can have as much weight as possible, but we need 6 to 8 people to carry that much weight into the theatre in the first place. Next thing is size. We're restricted by one set of double doors into our theatre. Most theatres have big scene dock doors. We don't have that in the Orange Tree, so we're designing something that has to be able to fit through the door in one piece. And I would say the final thing is waterproofing. We're going to put a pool in the theatre, which is not something you normally do somewhere where you have a lot of electricity and everything's made of wood. So we're having to very carefully consider what materials we're making everything out of, and we're buying a lot of silicon sealant.
Working with Stu and Lisa on this project has been really, really helpful. I absolutely could not have done it without them. There are limitations to this design and to this building that are very difficult to understand if you're not from a construction background, sort of in terms of how do we get this pool in through the doors and into the bottom of the stage without causing any trouble, and just ticking off every health and safety thing. All the way through the process and all of my different ideas, neither of them have ever said, oh no, we can't do that.